did tell Michelle, I was reading through your bio. I said, it should be football, not soccer. If you're, you know, if you're out
Yeah,
in the States, even I know
I've been here long enough. I know to call it soccer at this point. But if I go home and say soccer, I get lynched. So
I bet. I bet. Welcome to the Now podcast, Making Moves in Real Estate, episode number 31. Our guest today is a top Austin, Texas real estate expert, and everybody knows that I love me some Texas.
Yes.
He has a reputation built on local market knowledge, tireless dedication, and exceptional customer service. He's a former professional football player from London. He now applies the same drive and commitment to helping his clients buy and sell homes with a refreshingly friendly approach and proven success. He's known for guiding buyers to great deals and ensuring sellers have a stress-free experience. He's a 16-year Austinite and lives in Central Austin with his wife and 3 children. Please help us in welcoming Alex Tapp.
Welcome, Alex. We were so excited to have you.
Thank you. That was such a nice introduction. I don't think I can live up to that, but that was lovely. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, so I really want to hear about your story. How'd you end up here in the States?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Long time ago, I played professional football, soccer in England, played for Wimbledon and MK Dons. And then I pretty much retired over there through some knee injuries, but I had a connection reach out about starting a team out in Austin. And at the time, my girlfriend, who's now my wife, was from Austin, went to UT. And so I was familiar with the city. And they said, hey, look, we're starting up this team and, we'd love for you to kind of come over and see what you think and kind of get that initial team started. So I came over for a year, played with them for a year. It was great, loads of fun. Great to be back playing with the boys and all that kind of stuff. That team then moved to Orlando, became the Orlando City MLS team. And at that point, we were in Austin, loving Austin, kind of doing our thing. And so we stayed here. I was doing investment property myself, just personal investment property. And so as I got too old and slow and fat for playing football, I went into real estate and kind of been doing it ever since, really. And so that's the short version of it.
Wow.
So how many years now in real estate specifically?
I've been almost 10 years, I want to say now.
Okay.
Yeah, like actually as realtor, licensed realtor. I was doing some things prior to that, had some investment stuff in London and things like that. I'm a landlord here as well. And so, just like a natural progression there, really. Love the service part of it. I consider it a service industry, not really a sales industry. I don't really see myself as like salesy, but do love just kind of working with people and helping people. And so, just over time, just kind of built it from there.
And I understand you have a team now. Why don't you tell us how you have it structured? How do you?
Yeah, we do. This is our second full year of having the team. We have 3 agents and 2 full-time type of staff. One just, day-to-day assistants, and then the other one kind of growth operations and agent experience and things like that. And just, that's constantly evolving, right? In terms of the agents we want to bring on and what the kind of value and service we bring to those guys as well. And, I see it as, I don't think they're going to be with me forever, but if I can help them in their initial stages and that 3 to 5 year type of career and then they can go on and do their thing, kind of like what I did, then great, right? Like that if I can play a small part in that along the way, that's kind of how I see it.
So are they new? You bring them on as new agents then, I take it?
Pretty much, yeah. We've got, I've got 2 just brand new agents and just helping them kind of figure it out. And then I've got 1 who's been in the business a while and just needing that extra help to take him to that next, production level or whatever that is. I do just really enjoy, tapping into that of what their skill set is, how you can be the best value you can be for your clients and just trying to keep them. I feel like real estate for me is just being consistent, right? Really just doing the right things day in, day out. Setting good habits and just really, every time you speak to a client, what is your value? There's so many other things to do, tech now and everything else online for people and buyers and sellers. What is your value as an agent? And I just love kind of tapping into that and figuring it out,
What does your day look like on average?
Good question. Well, I have 3 little ones, so it starts like, here's my day, and then it could just get thrown out of whack immediately. But I usually like to start in the office, get in the office first, and then plan it out from there. I don't love working from home. I feel like I do neither well, not a good parent or a good agent at that point, right? Trying to do both. And so get to the office and then figure it out from there, usually kind of setting appointments or dealing with contracts or showing homes and all that kind of stuff, or helping the agents with their stuff as well. We have a staff meeting every week, every Tuesday, where we just either bring in a guest, a lender or a title rep or an appraiser or something like that, or we'll do some kind of interactive kind of work where it's like, I'm the buyer, you're the seller, let's talk about that. We do some in the field stuff as well, like this is how I show at home, this is how this is how we conduct ourselves in inspection, all that kind of stuff. I prefer being in the field versus stuck in the office, but I usually start the day in the office.
I'm not surprised by that. With your prior career being outdoors, I imagine primarily.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard to be stuck in the office. Even us, we're in a rural community, so we might be. When we have ranches or large acreage that we get to go hike and kind of get out of the office. We don't have the cookie cutter.
That's cool.
Homes here.
You guys do a lot of like farm and ranch stuff?
We have ranches up here. Yeah, we a variety. I would say on average, most of our properties are 5 acres or more inside.
Oh wow. Okay, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then some of them are hundreds of acres or even thousands. Yeah. Not too many these days.
Wow.
And then we have
that's a whole different ballgame though, right? Like just dealing with that type of sale.
Right.
I don't do a ton of like farm and ranch, to be honest.
What does your market look like? How is it in Austin? How's it been for you?
Yeah, we've, we went through that crazy growth spurt, right? Like most people did, especially over COVID, where it just went wild and I felt like everyone was moving to Austin, right? And so, hard to compare to that type of market because it's a little bit of an outlier. We've always been pretty strong. We've always had people moving here and companies moving here. But, that time compared with the rates, those historically low rates, that was just crazy, right? Wasn't really sustainable, in my opinion, not a healthy market to kind of continue that anyway. So for now, for me, it's more of a balanced market. We've got around, I want to say like about 5 months of inventory at the moment, which feels like a lot compared to where we come from, which was like 2 weeks of inventory. Right. But, I feel like buyers now have a chance to take their time, think about it. It's a big decision for them, right? Don't have to make a decision in 24 hours and pay 300 grand over list and all that kind of stuff. We can go and negotiate some value, which is always fun as a buyer's agent side. And then on the seller's side, if you price well and it's presented properly and there's a marketing plan there, then you'll get buyers, right? It's just not immediately, and gone are the days of just whacking a sign in the yard and getting 10 offers that first weekend, right?
Right.
So yeah, just a more balanced market. Obviously I'm biased. I love Austin. Obviously, been here a long time and still feel like it's a strong market for real estate. Even, we see it day to day, right? Even with these rates coming down this past week or so, you're already seeing people come back in. I dealt with a multiple offer yesterday. And so there's always that kind of draw for the right homes and the right spots.
So let's talk about the changes that have happened due to the NAR settlement. How's that affected things? We've had multiple guests on our podcast that have given input, but we haven't talked to somebody in the great state of Texas. So
Michelle's favorite state, where this lady wants to retire. You might have a client.
Let's go. Texas is great. Yeah.
So how about people do that with your team? And
Compass have been fantastic in terms of the support they offered throughout the last 3-4 months and the classes they've been putting together and all the resources there. It's been great. We've gone from sheer panic to not much is changing, right? And everything in between, and who knows where it will shake out. It wouldn't surprise me if in 12 months time it's totally different again, right? And so I feel like you can get caught up in those changes a little bit. For us, transparency is always a good thing, right? More kind of especially in our industry where it's kind of considered sometimes a little shady for whatever reason. So the more we can kind of elevate ourselves and be more transparent, then great, I'm all for it, right? From a seller's perspective, the conversations we're having with sellers, and we've had a bunch in the last, couple of weeks really, has been like, look, it's always been that those commissions have always been negotiable, right? That's always been the case, and we've always presented it as such. If I'm selling a home, I'm trying to put, my best foot forward and trying to get it out to as many people as possible, right? And so by offering the 3% or whatever that is, then I feel like you're putting yourself in the best spot. If you're not, then maybe you're kind of limiting yourself in terms of there might be buyers who can't afford to also pay their agent as well as their down payment and everything else as well. So they might just say, hey, listen, don't show me any homes where they're not offering buyer's agent commission because I can't afford to do that. And obviously an agent isn't going to work for free, right? And so if I'm selling a home personally, I'm offering that. The clients I've been working with so far have been fine with that, right? And so it's not, we haven't seen any like drastic pushback from that perspective yet. I'm sure there's sellers out there who's going to be like that, great, but not in our experience so far, Claudia. It's been pretty standard. Yeah,
we haven't had any pushback whatsoever either with the sellers.
Okay.
The buyers, I say with the buyers, we have some of our leads are a lot of my business comes from referrals within our sphere, other agents. But we also have the internet leads. And so it was like, okay, how we show the value, like you're talking about,
right?
That doesn't know us. And so Michelle's really got a good little system, I think, going on for our buyers.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. Put you on the spot, General.
On the spot. I don't know that it's this. He's like, you're so good. I'm like, no, I don't know about that.
Oh, no, I love it. Anytime I can learn from other agents. And what's this also opened up is how people do two different things in different states. I'm so like focused on Texas. I never even thought, there's different, so great. Yeah, please.
Well, that's why I asked you about Texas, because in some states, in some areas, people were already using buyer representation agreements. So it was like already a thing. So I don't know if that was something you guys were already doing, or is it new for you?
So that's a good question. Me personally, I've never used them. Literally never used them, right? All my business is referral and repeat business. We don't do any kind of like outside advertising, marketing, paying for lead, none of that stuff. It's all just organically grown by just having good systems and good follow-up and standing in front of clients and just doing a good job, right? And so I've never felt the need for a buyer rep in that sense. Now, at the end of the deal, Compass will need one, right? Or something. So I have to have them sign it at the end, but all good. And so, that's a little bit of a change for us to kind of get that on the front end, especially if you're like, you don't have a good relationship with them. It's like been a referral or something like that who you don't know, and trying to kind of communicate that value with, from a buyer's mindset, it's already got so much going on as well, right? And so trying to just be aware of that and trying to navigate that. That's probably been a little trickier, to be honest, versus like the seller side. How about you?
So are you using then like the state of Texas buyer representation agreements, or did Compass push down any kind of their own?
We've just got the standard, the mandated Texas one, the TXR, whatever it's called.
So I think we're she brought her independent brokerage over to EXP last year.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what's really great about what they rolled out is a standard listing agreement, and then also buyer representation agreement that's separate from our California Association.
Ledger, more concise.
Much easier.
We're California, so we have to make it, convoluted with like 7 potential and like, what is this?
Yeah.
So I'm like, EXP has like a 2-page or a 1-page. Click, here we go.
It's like the Bible.
Simpler the better. For sure. I'm with you.
Bible version. New James Testament. Anyways, that's been extremely helpful because when you're doing a buyer's consultation, it's like 2 pages.
Right.
And so it's super clear. I feel like my 13-year-old could use it in school because it's just very easy to walk through your value proposition. Really, like it's like, boom, this is what it is. And this is what I'm going to do. And this is what it's going to look like for you. But we have had one instance where we did have a buyer sign the agreement. This was one of her clients. And then
working with one of my new agents, and they're like, oh, well, actually, we really want to work with someone else. And happens to be for my office. That is for land. And I'm like, so you've signed a buyer, you signed an agreement with us. Let's talk about this. And I'm like, how ironic. The first one that my agent gets signed. And
how did that work out?
Pushback. Well, we're still having conversations about it. But I would say what it made me realize is, okay, we didn't present the value clearly enough in that situation.
Right.
I did the initial conversation, handed the baton off to my buyer agent. Perhaps I should have stayed involved a little bit longer with that situation. And so what I liked about what Michelle is doing is she's either in person or in Zoom actually doing a presentation for about a half hour.
100%. Got to do it in person, in my opinion, or Zoom, right? You have to get in front of people.
Where they're at.
Yeah.
And going through our whole presentation that we put together and that we tweak, not just the contract, and then kind of even encouraging them, I think, to interview agents. So that way they know when they're signing it with you, you are the right fit for them, the right person, and they understand what they're signing, that basically buyers are signing a binding contract, just like our sellers have for years with listings. And I don't know that they quite realize that yet, just because it's so new. So
I agree with that. I think to that point just makes everything a little more professional, right? The initial meeting slows us down a little bit, how often have we doing something or somewhere? Yeah, I'll show you that home, and you're off and running, right? It's just a little more deliberate now in just the way we work,
That's kind of what I was telling Courtney, is it's really allowing us the opportunity to set the cadence of the relationship and what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and we're going to move around it. I'm former pharmaceutical sales rep, so I'm used to having these critical conversations with high-level physicians, and so it's easier for me, based on my experience, to have that dialogue with.
Absolutely, that must help so much. Yeah, for sure. Just uncomfortable conversations at times, right?
Mm-hmm. Crucial conversations, we call them. Read that book.
What'd you call them?
There's a book called Crucial Conversations that I read. It's an old book. Maybe even from the 90s might have been written.
Yeah.
And I've actually read it twice, and I've recommended it to multiple people in my brokerage over the years where it was needed.
I've done trainings on it. Yeah. Anytime you have a crucial conversation that you need help role playing with, call us.
Let's go. I'm in. That's great. I love it. Yeah. I like things like that. More uncomfortable, the better. Just trains you to be fine with it, right? And so, no, I'm all for it. But just, one thing I wanted to say as well, and I've been saying this to anyone who listens to me, is I feel like the best advocate for a buyer's agent commission is the seller's agent, right? When they're having that meeting in that listing presentation, and the seller's pushing back, and I'm not going to pay my buyer's agent anything because I don't have to, just being having those stronger agents be an advocate for that, because we're going to be on both sides of it, right? And I'm sure there's always going to be that race to the bottom and discounted agents and everything else like that. It's just not what we do. I'm sure it's not what you guys do either. It's just we're trying to be a full service, professional agency over here, and this is just our fees. It's just the way it goes, right?
Well, I think people forget that there's been flat fee brokerages for decades.
Yeah.
That has been around. It's nothing new. And the sellers that are inclined to go that direction have already been going that direction, and the majority have not, because there's stats around that they get more money with a full service agent representing them. There's a lot of statistics around it. So in reality, this is not a new concept. It's just being worded differently, I guess you could say, than we've already have had out there. So you could
I agree.
And hey, real quick before we go, I want to hear about your investment portfolio.
Yes.
So let's talk about yours. And I also want to know if you're doing real estate in the UK.
Yeah, so not anymore in the UK. Owned a couple properties there a long time ago. Hard to manage, to be honest, from over here, and haven't really got my finger on the pulse of what's going on enough. Just not there enough anymore. So they're done with. But here, yeah, we've got a few rental properties in San Marcos and in Austin. I manage them myself. Started off, the first ever one we did was just the home that I initially bought to live in, my primary, and then when we moved, we just kept that as a rental. Probably the best decision I've ever made on that one, luckily. And we just kind of built a few from there. And so, ups and downs with investment properties. It's so important in terms of like, obviously the home and the condition it is, and then just getting the right tenant in, right? And just doing your due diligence on that end. That's usually the advice I give to a lot of investors, like take your time with that, meet the people first before committing to everything, right? Get the home obviously in good shape. But then if you're just kind of taking care of payments every month versus like chasing up late rent, dealing with just a bunch of stuff you don't want to deal with, right? But yeah, they've been great for us. See them as like long-term investment plays type of deal. And as long as they both they all three cash flow, but as long as they're kind of taking care of themselves with their mortgage, then I'm fine with it. I'm not these are not multi-family homes, they're all single family properties, and just kind of let them do their thing. How about you guys? Do you have anything like that?
I have a lot of rentals. So my husband and I got into the Airbnb market in 2015, and we're being outside Yosemite. That's a big part of our portfolio up here. And so we have a boutique hotel now in downtown Maryland.
Oh, wow. Oh, you guys are next level. Yeah.
Well, 11, small one, 11.
We're in it right now.
Yeah, actually, I have my real estate office in the front, and then the hotel
cool.
back. And so if guests have questions,
Are you running that hotel yourselves as well?
No, I have a manager. I have had a manager for our short-term rentals since 2015, 16. And she was my nanny, and then she was one of my realtors. And then she became our manager of rentals. And so she's been with us a long time.
Brilliant.
It's a whole nother business. I mean, it genuinely is. And I think people underestimate the amount of work needed on short-term rentals. Whereas our long-term rentals, our long-term rentals, we self-manage. Those are a lot more passive. So we just picked up another property where we're going to create 2 more long-term. That happens to be next door to us. Yeah. So we're going to be very thoughtful on who we bring in. I always pull credit reports too, even if we know people, because I can tell my lending background, like, what does that say about you? Yeah. What's your pattern? You can see it with their credit reports. So I always tell my clients, full credit. You need to see their credit if you're going to rent to somebody.
No, absolutely. Yeah, and I manage them myself as well. And anytime I've got a client who's looking to do it, looking for investment property, and they ask, who's a good property manager, I've never come across a good one. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm always just like, just do it. I can help you. Let's just get all the front end stuff done. I can take care of all that and provide contacts and everything else like that for contractors or whatever. Let's get the payments up. And then honestly, just manage. If you're in town or in state, at least you can manage it yourself. I've just never been able to find a good one. Maybe we should start one. But,
no, thank you. I barely want to manage my own. I could have got into the property management business a long time ago, and I opted out of that reason. That is not. I do not want to deal with a bunch of tenants, or I've had to evict. It's not fun.
Oh God, touch wood. I've never had to do that. Yeah.
Oh, it's not fun. It's cash for keys. I've had all sorts of situations over the years, and no, we'll let someone else more patient than me handle that.
How is the market where you guys are now? How's business been this year for you guys?
It's been pretty good. Kind of similar to you. Obviously, we had the mad rush of everyone moving out to rural communities, and we were just slammed for a couple of years there, and then it drastically went down. So our area, on average, I would say we were about 50% down as far as the number of transactions that we saw. And I think that was pretty on par with our national average. So, it's picked up this year compared to last. We're getting more listings, quite a bit more listings. And so they're sitting.
Yeah, way
longer.
more listings. Yeah.
Yeah, our days on market are longer, which is historically in rural areas, days on markets are longer anyway. And so we're starting to see what I used to see, back in 2018, 19 is kind of what this feels like to me, this market that we're in. So I would say it's steady, and I'm anticipating some major pickup come once they start doing all these rate drops that we're anticipating in the fall.
Yeah.
So
in terms of your agents and what they're how they're growing their business, how you kind of guide them on that? Is that same type of deal as you, where it's referrals, repeat business, just growing it like that, or are they doing different ways of doing it?
I mean, with the EXP model, we have production team and then my group in the mountains that came over with us. And then I have agents that are completely building their own brands in different markets. And so that, depending on what market you're in, they all have their own methods. But I would say overall, most of us are very relationship based versus transactional, and have built our businesses off of our sphere or professional referral, which is something that we're big on. And we're part of a group called Pro Insight that has been a really good fit for us on that. So that's how I grew my business. I didn't pay for online leads for like my first 15 years in the business. I did get into that, but it's more of a hybrid model. And we definitely have a higher conversion from our referrals and our sphere than we do from our online.
Yeah.
But
so what we're focusing on is having our agents build their preferred partnerships with their asset-based and service-based professionals.
Mm-hmm.
So your CPAs, your attorneys, your financial advisors, insurance agents, and really elevating the conversations around referrals. So your painter, asking your painter to ask the question, why am I painting your house today? Right?
Absolutely.
Or your CPA, typically your CPA will ask you at the end of the year, did you sell any properties this year? So instead we're saying, hey, can you please ask, do you anticipate selling any homes this coming year?
Right.
If so, do you have a realtor that you would consider a 9 or a 10? No? Great. Let me make an introduction. And you do a 3-way text. So that's a method that we're working on.
Mostly with our insurance agent. So we have like a real strong communication style on doing 3-way introduction text messages with all of our preferred partners. Mm-hmm. So even our lender. So I would say our lender and our insurance agents are really the top two that I use all the time.
And we get a lot of business.
Hi, Alex. This is my client, Courtney. She's looking for an insurance quote on this address before she moves forward in an offer. Would you please get in touch with her? And then that way, it obviously illustrates to the client that we're, very consultative team approach. And then I have the ability to go back in 48 hours, 72 hours and say, hey, Alex, were you able to give that client, you know what I mean? If I haven't heard
accountability.
There's accountability like nobody has ever seen when working with me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
No, I love that. That's great. We have a similar way of having that kind of referral network within home insurance, lenders, obviously, all that kind of stuff. But I love the follow up as well, and just that accountability piece. That's cool.
Yeah. So enough about us. Before we wrap up, I was ask the final question on what's next for you. Like, what's your like 5-10 year? Let's go 5-year vision.
It's like, 10-year, Michelle.
Let's go 5. Okay. We have 5. We're working on 5. What's your 5?
Yeah, I'm with you. Kind of shorter term goals here. I think for now is just continuing to kind of hone and grow the team that we're putting together, right? And I don't want to be over 10 agents. I'd like to keep it under 10, ideally, and just really be able to give the time that is needed. At some point, maybe move out of the sales piece of it, and just continue to kind of mentor and help the is this your goal as well? I can see you nudging.
That is what I have been doing.
Okay, cool. Good for you. I mean, I haven't done it yet. Whether that's unrealistic, who knows, right?
It's not.
It's hard to tell now, or whatever. But yeah, that's the kind of 5-year plan: is continue to grow the group, I'm pretty consistent with my kind of production each year. So if we can continue to kind of edge that up as well, just continue to refine our systems and process and make it as efficient as possible, right? Versus like recreating the wheel every time we meet a client or whatever the case is. So yeah, I mean, nothing outrageous, just continuing this. I love it. I love what we do. Don't really see myself getting out of it fully. I love, the Austin and the growth that we've seen here as well. And so that's really it. Yeah, sorry, not super fun.
Awesome.
All right. Well, let's tell our listeners where they can start following you.
Find
you and contact you and all the things.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose Instagram, right? Alex Tapp _ is my personal page. We've also got the Tapp group on there as well. We've got LinkedIn pages there. The Tapp group atx.com website is ours as well. Yeah, come say hello anytime. Just give me a call.
Okay.
I've got to do a better job with our agent to agent referral system. I know you brought that up. I'd love to do a better job with that at some point as well.
We'll chat.
Yeah.
We'll chat after.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Keep it going.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex.
It's nice to meet you. I appreciate you responding so quickly. So
thank you, Deb.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. Good luck with everything. You guys are doing great.
So you heard him. Look for him on Instagram, AlexTapp _ or Ask the General and all things Twist. Have a good one.
so we're out.